morning routines are super important to me, and here's why. When I got a very concrete and focused morning routine, I saw the biggest shift in my business. So let's chat about that. But in order to make this a little bit more real about my morning routine, I'm gonna make some tea because it's one of the first things I do every morning. So I am an early riser. It wasn't always the case, but I now find myself waking up at 4:30 in the morning. I don't set an alarm. It's what time my body naturally wakes up. And I listen to it because I always heed the voice of creativity. When creativity wakes me up for me to work, that's when I want to do it. And I've noticed that I'm most productive when I set a routine. Now, routines are really important because I started noticing that when I had a routine, I actually became more profitable in my business. But we should probably back up a little bit to get to why I was there. I got to a point in my business to where all I would do would be just to focus on what I had to do in that moment. What was due, my deadlines, my timelines, my meetings, and I didn't give myself any space to think about what I call thinking in the margins. Where do I want to go? What do I want to create? What's going to change where I am now to where I want to go in the future? And on that note, the water is boiling. I'm going to make some tea. I want to walk through a little bit. So basically, I am like an 87-year-old grandma. If you wanted to ever buy me a gift, just buy something you would get for your grandma and mail it to me. My husband knows this so well that we were in San Francisco and I went to this tea shop and I was obsessed. I literally collect loose leaf tea. Tea in a vial. Can you get out of here, please? If it's in a cute tin, this is from London, I'll just buy it for the tin. But in all actuality, I start my mornings with tea. So let's start off with some orange jasmine because we're staying on brand today. So you are going to, this has been cool because in my morning routine, I like to move slowly but quickly. This has already been measured for 12 ounces of tea, which is just about this component. Orange jasmine organic green tea. I won't start my day with too much caffeine. I keep it really light. And we're gonna let this steep for about 3 to 5 minutes. Thinking and creating in the margins. The margins are what empowered me to think of where I wanted to go in my business, not just sustain my business. So in order for me to do that, I had to plan my day according to my priorities. Now, my priorities are very different from yours, but I can give you an example of some of my priorities. A priority for me, which you could think is totally ridiculous, but every morning I want to walk my dog with my husband. That's a priority. But I started noticing that if I didn't plan for walking the dog with my husband, I got so busy in my business that it didn't happen. A priority for me is making a green smoothie every day. But if I didn't plan it according to my priorities, I didn't have the green smoothie. Instead, I would turn to something that was quick or unhealthy or just like grab and go. And I wasn't living and functioning the way that I wanted to as like a high achieving entrepreneur. Another priority for me is to close my computer at 6:30. Now, there are days that it doesn't always happen, but if I plan according to those priorities, I then can plan the day according to what I need. Then and only then did I have the ability to end my workday according to my priorities, professionally, personally, and in the margins where I wanted to go in the future. And it was that time when I ended my day that I thought to myself, this is a job well done, and I don't feel resentful for having a never-ending list of things to do, not having enough personal time, and not knowing where my business was going. When I did that, when I established my morning routine, I saw the biggest difference in my business. So you're probably here thinking, okay, Jasmine, that sounds great, but how do I set up a morning routine? Well, right now, I'm gonna walk you through 3 tips and tricks to start your morning routine and stick to it. Tip number 1 is to start with you. Now, I know it seems super selfish, but greatest thing you could do for your business is self-care. What I do in the morning is I take a hot bath, I will make a cup of tea, I will journal, I will pray, I will read. I will spend 30 minutes without being tethered to a computer or my phone. I really am just taking time to internalize who I am, where I want to go. And I know this probably sounds super woo-woo, but hey, it works. I used to hear people say that and I'd be like, that's so weird. Now I'm doing it because I'm like, I've seen the biggest shift in my mindset, in my trajectory, and how I plan my day. Which leads us to tip number 2, and that's to create a schedule. Now I know that if you're a creative business owner like myself, I'm a creative. I'm an artist. I like to just go and be free, but I also understood that if I didn't have a schedule, I wasn't getting the things that I needed to get done. I had to be on timelines, I had to respect my clients, and I had to channel my creative energy. Now, I was only able to do that when I created a schedule. If you need help creating a schedule, I'm more than willing to share my tips and tricks on that. You can go to jasminestar.com/productivity and find my personal schedule where you can fill in the blank and follow it too. Tip number 3 is don't overestimate what you can do. I think I heard it was Tim Ferriss, and he said we often overestimate what we can do in a day and underestimate what we can do in a year. And that's so true. So when it comes to your to-do list, resist the temptation to list like 45 things that you're gonna get done when in all actuality you become overwhelmed and you're not sure if it can actually happen. I probably would suggest itemizing your top 3 to 5 things that you need to get done in the day, like the non-negotiables, 3 to 5. And then you can kind of add in 1 or 2 in case you happen to be super productive and like the creativity gods just visited you and you cruise through all of it. 3 to 5 should be your priority, and I believe you can make it happen. Thanks for watching this video. I wish you all the best as you continue with your morning routine, and I hope it helps. Drop me a line. Let me know how things are going.